I'm going to draw a line under the Riley situation. I think I made some comments that were a little bit ill-advised from my own perspective. These are very litigious and thin-skinned people, so they live in a different country, but they could cause a little bit of a drama over it. It's edging towards 50 views, which is a lot more. I didn't expect it to get double figures in a year. So every time someone sees it, it increases the chance that she'll be tipped off and she could cause a little bit of trouble over it. So that's sort of my problem, isn't it? But I've got to make a little bit of a stand against people. She's not a big... not the main reason for Corbyn, of course, but, you know, it's just more of a personal thing. Some of the other people too, I mentioned in the previous video. The sequel to that, yeah, I'm just giving an opinion. I probably shouldn't have relitigated it. There's no real point now because it's gone, isn't it? It's well and truly finished. But I just had a little bit of a brainwave trying to understand it. I never understood it. I never understood why she did that. So if there's a bit of a to-do over it, maybe, you know, try to have it taken down or whatever. It just doesn't matter anymore, does it? But I talk a little. There was one thing that I forgot to talk about. One person is Twlldun, the Welshman centrist dad joke account on Twitter. He's got over 30,000 followers. Interacts with blue ticks a lot on the platform, and her, you remember when she wore that shirt with Corbyn at the getting arrested at the anti-apartheid rally, and she wore that silly shirt. You can see it on the internet, and it stirred a lot of the blacks up, you know, because she seemed to be insulting the anti-apartheid struggle, and that was a really weird thing. That's inexplicable behaviour from her. So, and Twlldun was, his Medium piece was the basis for that. She had read that and she used that as a justification for it, I think. And I can't be too mean about that because I used a Twlldun post as a basis for one of my blog posts about the old days, and he's actually quite good. He actually wrote something sensible, and I used that, so I'm not going to be judgmental about that. But I'm not a celebrity. I don't have not a big time TV host and other things. And this guy doesn't even put his name to it. I do know his name. I won't sort of technically dox him by using his real name. He's using the same profile pic on Twitter and Facebook at the same time, with those hideous sort of piggy eyes of his and a gas mask. It was just something grotesque. It was really grotesque. But he's a fairly intelligent person, but a nasty one. Also, someone I have I'm a huge fan of this guy. He's a former independent blogger at the Independent, Thomas Doran. He's a Welshman too, and his Twitter posts, he's one of the all-time greats. There's a holy trinity of online posters. One is Trump, has to be Trump. The other is Bappin. I might do a little video about him, but just look him up. He's a legend. He's a legend of posting. And the other part of the Holy Trinity is Doran. You can see his Twitter portrait in flesh. He's a legend. He's just an immortal. He just posts so well. This guy, He's a bit like me. He's unemployable, and he just smashes 20 beers a day. He said, and he hits the narcotics, the over-the-counter narcotics. He shoots that up, and then he gets on the tweet box, and he's got no off. He's got to share everything. Oversharing, that's his thing. He said the other day, and it's really good. It's a lot of sick sort of sexual perverse stuff, but and we're all a bit perverse, aren't we? Riley had Bill Bailey. Don't want to bring that up, but that's a very weird thing. That's why I don't. That's one of the reasons. Poor old Bill. He's not sexy at all, is he? But he's one of the great tweeters. He's a very nasty person. His mother's a Tory. I think that's where he gets his politics from. A lot of his friends are Marxists. His father is, I think, a Marxist. And they have good politics. A lot of them are Corbyn supporters, but this guy is his mother. He's a bit of a Norman Bates, I think, but the quality of his posts are brilliant. He's just a posting god, and he tweets 300. He gets smashed on vodka and hits 20 beers a day, and does a tray of over the counter fucking over the counter narcotics, the painkillers. And he gets on the tweet box and he just tweets all day, and it's brilliant. It's he's evil. He's a love-hate relationship, but he could be number one at one point. Was Bappen and Trump are ahead of him, but a little bit. But he could, by the end of his life, he could be the greatest poster of all time on the internet, in my opinion. There's another few people. I don't know if he's Welsh. I don't know. Gillian Lazarus, a religious fanatic, a very ugly woman, and it's a bugbear of mine that people who are ugly use their own face for profile pics, and you see it time and time again. It's like a Dunning-Kruger situation with their profile pics on Twitter. So many beautiful pictures, butterflies and birds and all sorts of wildlife and sunsets, space stuff. You could put anything on there, and they put their hideous features on their profile pic, and it's weird. There's something, I hate it. And it happens all the time. You see it all the time. These really ugly people have their own faces, and there's millions of pictures which they can put on, just make life a little bit easier for us. So Gillian, please get some butterflies onto your laptop or your iPhone or whatever, and upload it, and just take your face off, please. I don't usually be mean. She's very mean about caused a lot of trouble. Otherwise, ugly people, I just maybe I'm ugly. I've got hyper masculine features, a very sort of a Neanderthal look. There could be a lot of Neanderthal DNA, I think, in me. But I really don't usually bring looks into people. And Twlldun and his piggy eyes, because he's a nasty person. This Gillian Lazarus lady, please just put a butterfly or a bird or something just to make it a little bit easier on the eye. She has me blocked on the main account, so I haven't visited her page in years. I did on the other day on private window. I had to look at a thing for the first time in probably 2 years. She still has a really ugly picture on a thing, and so many people do it. A lot of old and ugly people. I don't know. It's really twisted, and a lot of I think I'll leave it there. I was going to say something else, but they're through the great poster Thomas and little Twlldun. His thing was the basis for her wearing that shirt. I think she read that and was inspired by that. And that was weird, but yeah, that's so I'm drawing a line under the sand. That's the end of this situation. With no more videos on this.